being at the team level. As we start having dependencies on other teams, we approach them and say, you have two ways to work with us. You choose. You either work with us where kind of the traditional black box and we have dependency modes, or you're a member of the team. And if you're a member of the team, here's the guidelines, the ground rules. You're coming to our stand-ups, you're doing Scrum, and you're just part of the team. And actually, in every case, their management has wanted them to contribute that way, which has caused us to actually have too many people, so we end up having to break teams apart a bit. The geographically distributed, we don't have that whole lot right now at OCLC. Some teams do. When I was at AOL previously, when we were doing Scrum there, the team I managed was we had development here, we had QA in Arizona, product in New York, we had a team in Bangalore, and it was incredibly challenging. We were successful, but it was through what I coined aggressive communication. Everybody had a chat channel up for AIM, and everybody was required to be in it, and so to try to virtualize that communication. Daily stand-ups were video conferences, but everybody in their local place had to be in the same room. No dialing in from your office, things like that. And then when we got together quarterly to do release planning, we picked one of the distributed locations and we flew people there. So it was costly too, but that was the price for paying for that success.
Okay, we have about 3 more minutes for question and answers.
I was wondering if any of the panelists, you got responsibility of a team that has app dev as well as the build side as well as run. That means you do application development and then turn around and have some responsibility for production support as well? Or do you hand it over to another team? If you do that, how do you do the transition?
Done it both ways. I really like having run with build. I like being accountable for what it is that we built and having some control over it. I think a team that builds something also has to support it, wants to make sure that they get to spend their time building and not supporting. But we do have models now through some organization changes where build hands off to run. And the way we've managed that, we thought about it carefully, is we make sure that the people who are doing the run are part of the team during the build. And if possible, we move people through run and build on a rotating basis so no one's stuck doing run. So they also know how to use the app, how to build the app. And they also know what it's like to support the app, so they get that experience as if they owned both. I think if you can do that, a couple things happen. One is they're not afraid to catch it because they know it. They can communicate to their management that this app is ready. They helped build it. And they get to strengthen their skills because they've been part of the build process. It's not just run. So I think there's ways you can deal with that if you have to separate the two.
We are playing Build Run Shop, and in one of our early retrospectives, we discovered that we hadn't been including our support groups enough in the project. So what we ended up doing was embedding 2 of those people on our team, and that's how we dealt with it.
Okay, is there a really quick question? I think there was one more person here, sorry.
I just had a quick one about how technology specific do you feel the implementation of Agile has been in terms of, there's Java, there's, web type of applications, and then there's also kind of, I know at Nationwide you said you've got COBOL and they're maybe less mature than the other groups, and I didn't know if that was technology specific or more of a timing and experience thing.
So our Java web-based teams adopted Agile very quickly, specifically the engineering practices. They jumped on it right away. Our COBOL lines took a little bit longer, but the Scrum aspect of Agile can be implemented across technologies. It doesn't matter. But when you get to the JUnits, the TDDs, things like that, we struggle a little bit from a technology perspective. Continuous integration, TDD, things like that.
So just to add to that, we've had business come to us saying, this stuff seems to be working, can we use it? And we've actually taught some of the businesses to use Scrum, getting a dedicated team, stop multitasking, focus on one problem, break it up into increments, do daily stand-ups, prioritize the work that you're going to do. And they just come back just fired up. They can't believe the stuff they get. We got done in one day what it would have taken us 6 months to do. So a lot of these techniques can work in a lot of places. Scrum, I think, is technology agnostic, even organization agnostic to a large degree.
Thank you. For those of you that, I know there were a couple still had questions, perhaps you can catch the panel afterwards if they'd be willing, or during the breaks.
It'll cost money afterwards.
I thought it might, but at least I thought I'd ask. And then also, so I want to thank the panel, and also